Hey everyone, Travis here, back again with a brand new vinyl update video, the 2020 edition. It's been well over a year and a half since my last update. I think I checked, it was like February of 2019, so it has been some time, and I do apologize for anyone that's been waiting for a new video from me. Um, it has been a wild year to say the least. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. I've been kind of laying low and doing my best with considering everything that's going on. But I had to go and look at my Discogs database, kind of find out what I've shown already, what where I left off with the collection, and kind of go through and pull out highlights from the last year and a half or so, and which is always kind of hard to do. And then pull them all out and put them all back in. But that's my fault when I only do this once a year or so. But I do have a nice stack, about 30 or so records or something like that. So let's get right into it here. So the first couple here, I'm pretty sure were from Record Store Day last year. The couple solo albums from Frank Black Francis of the Pixies. I got Teenager of the Year there, and a self-titled one there. Now, I don't think these were Record Store Day exclusives, but they were, I want to say like Record Store Day first. I think you can still get these. So, self-titled one there is on this yellowish orange vinyl, which is always cool to see. Get that back together somehow. There we go. And Teenager of the Year is on this double LP. They're both, I want to say they're both white vinyl. But yeah, so if you're a fan of the Pixies, definitely check these out if you haven't already. I'm a big fan of those. So, and speaking of the Pixies, I got Come On Pilgrim. It's their first like mini LP. This is just a reissue on 4AD, so nothing special about the pressing really, but just one I never picked up, and I have their other records, so I had to get this one. And definitely a big fan of the Pixies. So, I got a bunch of stuff from like Sub Pop and kind of grunge era type stuff. So, first one I got kind of more recently. It's like a 3 LP set, Enter the Vaselines, on Sub Pop. So they Vaselines had a couple EPs. They had a record, and there's demos and live recordings on here. It's like, I think it's pretty much like all the complete recordings. They didn't have a ton. But yeah, obviously a lot of people know them from Kurt Cobain and Nirvana and stuff, and I dig them as well. And here's the Screamin' Life Fop EPs from Soundgarden, also on Sub Pop. I'm a huge Soundgarden fan, so I kind of had to get this to complete my collection. Now, this came out a couple years ago, I think, and yeah, I just early Soundgarden. Obviously, I don't think it's as good as what they would become later, but it's definitely cool to hear where they came from. And one thing about that too is those songs like were always so hard to find back in the day. Like when I first kind of discovered Soundgarden, I wanted to hear their early stuff, and I couldn't find the CD or anything like that. This was before YouTube and Spotify and all that. So trying to look around the internet trying to track down these songs. I think the only one that I really found right away was the Nothing to Say, which was on the A-Sides compilation. But those other all the other songs on here were really hard to find back in the day. But if you're a Soundgarden fan, it's definitely worth checking out. Green River got these are reissues as well on Sub Pop. I think they did these last year. We got Dry as a Bone and Rehab Doll. I think this is like an LP, and then there's some demos and stuff on here as well, and then I think this is like an EP in there. I think there might be some other kind of EP on here too. I don't really remember now. I feel kind of silly. No. Yeah, the first Sub Pop EP, and then additional LP of all their single and compilation tracks, including 5 previously unreleased. So it's kind of, yeah, kind of a mixture. But you know, I kind of knew their association with Pearl Jam and stuff, and I never really gave them much of a listen back when I was kind of discovering all that music of that era. And yeah, I definitely dig these quite a bit. So these are relatively new. You should still be able to find those. And speaking of Pearl Jam, I got I'm always kind of a couple years behind on collecting Pearl Jam. And I don't remember when this came out. If it was like I know it's over 5 years ago. It might be like 2013 or something, but Lightning Bolt. So I finally picked this up. And I know they got a new one that came out this year, and I haven't picked that up, so that'll probably be another 5 or 8 years or something like that before I get that one. But, you know, this ain't my favorite Pearl Jam record, but this is better than I remember it. So happy to have that in the collection now too. Kind of help complete my Pearl Jam collection. I also found this from them, Vitology. This is an original press, which I hardly ever see these original pressings. And I found this at my little honey hole, and I just had to pick it up. It was decent price, decent condition, and I just, you know, you just don't stumble across those very often. So big fan of Pearl Jam, had to get it. And then also kind of in that same vein, I got Mad Season Above. This is the music on vinyl pressing, which is always recommended by me. But, you know, it's Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Screaming Trees, kind of a super group type thing, one off. But great album. These ones were, I think they were announced or started to be released last fall. I know they were announced like last fall, and I was super stoked about them. And then the releases were so they were kind of hard to find for a little bit, I think. But the Queens of the Stone Age reissues, I imagine a lot of you probably already jumped on these. But I got Rated R, Songs for the Deaf, which was my introduction to them back in the day. And I've been a fan ever since. It's kind of like their big breakout album there. Lullabies to Paralyze. Sorry about the glare there. Era Vulgaris. And I got a chance to see them twice while they're on this tour here, so that was really cool. They were so great live too. So I got those ones, and I seem to remember, like, you know, and I don't know why I never picked them up. I suppose because I mean, I wasn't really a big record collector back when these were like released. I mean, I had some records at home, but I remember like seeing like this out in the store, I'm pretty sure. And I remember like the little 10-inch, like 3 LP little set that they had of this, which I thought was really cool, but I never picked it up. So this is just a standard 12-inch single LP, whatever. It doesn't really matter too much to me, but I'm just happy to have them because they're great albums. I always like them. And then there's this one here. This is like Clockwork. This wasn't part of that reissue thing, but this is the limited edition, like blue artwork. And I didn't jump on this when it first released. This was already a couple years back too, maybe. Oh man, I couldn't even tell you. 2012 or something like that. Yeah, so I didn't pick this up when it was first released, and I guess I really don't know why, but you know, initially I picked up the red, you know, regular standard edition red album artwork copy, and I didn't notice it until I got it home and got the shrink wrap off. But I think like the machine that puts the shrink wrap on had left like these, you know, indents across the whole face of the jacket, and you know, whatever puts on the shrink wrap and seals it, somehow just looked like a bunch of, like someone took a tack and just like tacked along. So I didn't notice until I got the shrink wrap off, and then I didn't think it was that big of a deal until I got the record out, and it actually punctured through the jacket into the record, and it was a bunch of pops and clicks and skips and stuff. So I ended up returning that, and I found one of these for almost the same price. And I think these are out of print now. not 100% sure on that, but I think even the standard edition ones might be going out of print too. I'm not 100% on that, but I don't know. Finally, got this though in my collection. Happy to have that. That's one that kind of grew on me too. Like I didn't really, I don't think I really cared for it a whole lot when it first came out, but I've given it plenty of listens since then, and yeah, it's definitely grown on me. So a lot of those were like reissues and recent stuff. Got some more classic type things here. Picked up this. This is like an '80s reissue of "Piper at the Gates of Dawn" by Pink Floyd. We got EMI. It's like the Fame label or whatever. So it's not an original or anything like that. But I have like the most recent reissue that came out a couple years back. But I'm always kind of looking for like an original. I know like the originals like are so hard to find and they're so expensive. And found this like in great condition. And I actually had found a U.S. pressing that was kind of an early press too. I think it was like early 70s or something like that. But then I kind of forgot that the track listings are different between the UK and the US. And I've always kind of liked the original like UK track listing. There's a couple songs that are switched out or removed on the US version. I just don't understand why, but so this is a UK press with a UK track listing. So I'm very happy with that. And here's a couple of John Prine records. As you know, we all lost John Prine earlier this year, and I had a couple of his albums. I had his self-titled and Sweet Revenge and like Greatest Hits already. And then, I was kind of already looking for more of his records, and then he passed away, and then the records just have like the prices have gone up, astronomically, and I guess that's just what happens, when a musician like happened with Prince and with David Bowie. This like the collection, the value of them just go way up, I suppose. But Diamonds in the Rough and Common Sense, found these ones relatively cheap, and happy to add those to the John Prine collection. I've been a fan. I just never had a lot of his albums. So here's one, Ramones, Too Tough to Die, kind of mid 80s Ramones. So this is a good one. It's not quite their like 70s heyday, but tough to find some of those Ramones records. Got an original press of Megadeth's Peace Sells But Who's Buying. This is my first Megadeth record. Again, I just don't see these very often out in the wild. But when I find them, it's like, well, I might as well pick them up, because heck yeah. Got Blackmore's Rainbow Rising. Always dig that album artwork. I had to pick this one up. This is a great album. This one's kind of beat up. I'll eventually need to find an upgrade of this, but the Cult Sonic Temple, kind of tough one to find too. It's a 1989 Sire Beggar's Banquet. Yeah, it's kind of from that era that the records are a little tough to find, but I found that one and it's all right. But yeah, it definitely needs an upgrade, I think. Here's one I found: the Kinks, Lola versus Power Man and the Money Go Round. I like never see any original Kinks, like hardly ever. This is one of the very few I've actually seen out in the wild, and I don't know why. I mean, they're such a great band, and I just don't know. I guess their records, maybe around me, they didn't sell very much or weren't very popular. I don't know. I see the compilations every now and then, but this is like early 70s, Kinks, and it's like in awesome condition. I was really happy to find that. Got a whole bunch of Judas Priest records. So again, this was, you know, not all at one time. This was over several months, but Sad Wings of Destiny. I'm not sure if these are in the right order or not, but whatever. Sin After Sin, Judas Priest. I got Stained Class. Most of these, they got to be, you know, first or second pressings probably. Hellbent for Leather. Okay, there's something. Oh, there's yeah, this one, yeah. So Hellbent for Leather is like the kind of a reissued. It was called Killing Machine, I think, at first, if I remember right. And there was like some kind of controversy about that. Point of Entry and Defenders of the Faith. So really kind of beefing up my Judas Priest collection. If you're wondering where British Steel is and Screaming for Vengeance, like I already have them. These are new ones. So, a couple more left here. King Crimson. I got a couple of their records. Red and Lark's Tongues in Aspic. I feel like with King Crimson, I think I mentioned this in a previous video too. Like I feel like I've seen, like I used to see these all the time out in the wild, and I just don't see them very often anymore. So when I find them, I just have to pick them up. So, yeah, these are great albums, and I'm still looking for a ton of more King Crimson. Link Ray and the Raymen. This one's a cool find. Got early rock and roll guitar. This is stuff I don't see very often. This is on Epic Records. It's got to be a real early press, if not the first press. But Link Ray, heck yeah. Got a couple Beach Boys records. I got Friends and Wild Honey. These are Capitol reissues from early 80s. Green label mono pressings. You can usually find these a lot cheaper than trying to track down originals, but I already had a couple Beach Boys records of the same reissue series. I have I think a copy of Pet Sounds and Smiley Smile, I think I have as well. But these were in excellent condition, and just happy to have some more Beach Boys in my collection for sure. And the last one here, Beatles, yesterday and today. You know, nothing special about this one, just a Beatles record, really. I already have like all the UK pressings. I just don't have a lot of the US ones, and you know, this is one I just didn't have. And I already, you know, all the songs on here. You know what's on here. You know what it is. So that just kind of cool. Anyway, that is everything. So once again, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you guys stay safe and be well. Peace out, guys.